And that's what we need from you. That's what we need from every young person in Northern Ireland. And that's what we need from every young person around the world. You must remind us of the existence of peace, the possibility of peace. You have to remind us of hope again and again and again. Despite resistance, despite setbacks, despite hardship, despite tragedy. You have to remind us of the future again and again and again. I have confidence you will choose that path, you will embrace that task. And to those who choose the path of peace, I promise you the United States of America will support you every step of the way. We will always be a wind at your back. And as I said when I visited 2 years ago, I am convinced that this little island, that inspires the biggest of things, this little island, its best days are yet ahead. Good luck. God bless you. And God bless all the people of Northern Ireland. Thank you. Barack Obama. Commencement address at the University of Notre Dame. Delivered May 18, 2009. President Obama. Thank you very much. Thank you, Notre Dame. Thank you. Thank you. Please, have a seat. Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations, class of 2009. Congratulations to all the parents, the cousins. the aunts, the uncles, all the people who helped to bring you to the point that you are here today. Thank you so much to Father Jenkins for that extraordinary introduction. Even though you said what I want to say much more elegantly. You are doing an extraordinary job as president of this extraordinary institution. And your continued and courageous and contagious commitment to honest, thoughtful dialogue is an inspiration to us all. So, good afternoon, to Father Hesburgh, to Notre Dame trustees, to faculty, to family. I am honored to be here today. And I am grateful to all of you for allowing me to be a part of your graduation. And I also want to thank you for the honorary degree that I received. I know it has not been without controversy. I don't know if you're aware of this, but these honorary degrees are apparently pretty hard to come by. So far I'm only 1 for 2 as president. Father. Hesburgh is 150 for 150. I guess that's better. So, Father Ted, after the ceremony maybe you can give me some pointers to boost my average. I also want to congratulate the class of 2009 for all your accomplishments. And since audience member interrupts with pro-life slogans. President Obama. And since this is Notre Dame, that's all right. And since audience chants we are ND. We are ND. President Obama. We're fine, everybody. We're following Brennan's adage that we don't do. Things easily. We're not going to shy away from things that are uncomfortable sometimes. Now, since this is Notre Dame, I think we should talk not only about your accomplishments in the classroom, but also in the competitive arena. No, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about that. We all know about this university's proud and storied football team. But I also hear that Notre Dame holds the largest outdoor 5-on-5 basketball tournament in the world, Bookstore Basketball. Now this excites me. I want to congratulate the winners of this year's tournament. A team by the name of Hallelujah Holla Back. Congratulations. Well done. Though I have to say, I'm personally disappointed that the Barack Ballers did not pull it out this year. So next year, if you need a 6 feet 2 inches forward with a decent jumper, you know where I live. Now, every one of you should be proud of what you've achieved at this institution. "163 classes of Notre Dame graduates have sat where you sit today. Some were here during years that simply rolled into the next without much notice or fanfare. Periods of relative peace and prosperity that required little by way of sacrifice or struggle. You, however, are not getting off that easy. You have a different deal. Your class has come of age at a moment of great consequence. For our nation and for the world, a rare inflection point in history where the size and scope of the challenges before us require that we remake our world to renew its promise. That we align our deepest values and commitments to the demands of a new age. It's a privilege and a responsibility afforded to few. Generations, and a task that you're now called to fulfill. This generation, your generation, is the one that must find a path back to prosperity and decide how we respond to a global economy that left millions behind even before the most recent crisis hit, an economy where greed and short-term thinking were too often rewarded at the expense of fairness and diligence and an honest day's work. Your generation must decide how to save God's creation from a changing climate that threatens to destroy it. Your generation must seek peace at a time when there are those who will stop at nothing to do us harm. And when weapons in the hands of a few can destroy the many. And we must find a way to reconcile our ever-shrinking world with its ever-growing diversity of thought. Diversity of culture, and diversity of belief. In short, we must find a way to live together as one human family. And it's this last challenge that I'd like to talk about today. Despite the fact that Father John stole all my best lines. For the major threats we face in the 21st century, whether it's global recession or violent extremism, the spread of nuclear weapons or pandemic disease, these things do not discriminate. They do not recognize borders. They do not see color. They do not target specific ethnic groups. Moreover, no one person, or religion, or nation can meet these challenges alone. Our very survival has never required greater cooperation and greater understanding among all people from all places than at this moment in history. Unfortunately, finding that common ground, recognizing that our fates are tied up, as Dr. King said, in a single garment of destiny is not easy. And part of the problem, of course, lies in the imperfections of man, our selfishness. Our pride, our stubbornness, our acquisitiveness, our insecurities. Our egos, all the cruelties large and small that those of us in the Christian tradition understand to be rooted in original sin. We too often seek advantage over others. We cling to outworn prejudice and fear those who are unfamiliar. Too many of us view life only through the lens of immediate self-interest and crass materialism, in which the world is necessarily a zero-sum game. The strong too often dominate the weak, and too many of those with wealth and with power. Find all manner of justification for their own privilege in the face of poverty and injustice. And so for all our technology and scientific advances, we see here in this country and around. The globe, violence and want and strife that would seem sadly familiar to those in ancient times. We know these things. And hopefully one of the benefits of the wonderful education that you have received here at Notre Dame is that you've had time to consider these wrongs in the world. Perhaps recognized impulses in yourself that you want to leave behind. You've grown determined each in your own way to right them. And yet one of the vexing things for those of us interested in promoting greater understanding. And cooperation among people is the discovery that even bringing together persons of good will, bringing together men and women of principle and purpose, even accomplishing that can be difficult. The soldier and the lawyer may both love this country with equal passion. And yet reach very different conclusions on the specific steps needed to protect us from harm. The gay activist and the evangelical pastor may both deplore the ravages of HIV/AIDS. But find themselves unable to bridge the cultural divide that might unite their efforts. Those who speak out against stem cell research may be rooted in an admirable conviction about the sacredness of life. But so are the parents of a child with juvenile diabetes who are convinced that their sons' or daughters' hardships might be relieved. The question, then, is how do we work through these conflicts? Is it possible for us to join hands in common effort? As citizens of a vibrant and varied democracy, how do we engage in vigorous debate? How does each of us remain firm in our principles, and fight for what we consider right, without as Father John said, demonizing those with just as strongly held convictions on the other side? And of course, nowhere do these questions come up more powerfully than on the issue of abortion.